Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio. Let's get started. Oh wait, are we even streaming? I think we are.
There's a
I
lag,
think
don't
we're streaming.
forget.
Well, somebody should go check YouTube to see if we're streaming. By the way, we're now
I'm on
using,
YouTube.
huh? Only YouTube.
I'm on I'm on
Okay.
there.
So, by the way, guys, we've now switched to OBS instead of using YouTube. So that's why it sounds like I really know what the hell I'm doing here. I think we're streaming because it says stop streaming if I had to stop. So, I have a list. I have some notes here. Today we are interviewing Lycan Overlord. For those of you, or Warlord. I don't know why I think Overlord all the time. Lycan Warlord. For those of you that don't know, Lycan Warlord is a YouTube gaming streamer. And that's all I know about him. So let's get into it. So Lycan, I've been watching you for a little while now, and you seem to really like Townstar. And so that interested me. And I'm like, hey, I want to talk to this guy and find out everything he knows.
Well, first of all, next time just knock on the door and come in. You don't have to watch from outside. Hello, everyone. I am Lycan the Overlord Warlord. I like that, actually.
I don't know. It just slips. Maybe that's
works,
how you got
though.
the name.
Dude, it works. No, so what? You know, should we just rip the Band-Aid off and explain how I got the name?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm 34, turning 35 this year, and when I was in my formative years, the movie Underworld came out. And for those of you who don't know, it features a very attractive woman by the name of Kate Beckinsale in some extremely tight clothing. And ever since then, I was like, damn, must be cool to be like that. So, one of my middle names is Wolfgang, so I've always associated with werewolves. One of, yes. My father thought it would be funny to have not only one, but two middle names, and one of them be Wolfgang. So, I've always thought werewolves were cooler than vampires, especially after Twilight came out. I was confirmed in that theory, plus Underworld. And at the time, I was planning on going into the Marines and being an officer. Well, I did go into the Marines. I never made it to my commission. Associated with... So you factor Lycan in with Warlord, because I was going to be the Wolfgang General of the military. And there you go. That's my name.
The Wolfgang General. Nice.
Yeah. That would have been pretty cool. But fate being what it will, things changed, and here we are making YouTube videos about Townstar.
Yeah. You have anything to say, Mr. Titan, before I start asking a bunch of Townstar questions? Because he's here so I can download his brain.
You did me dirty.
Who are you again?
You did me dirty. Nobody's listening, and we're not live because you gave me the wrong link.
We are too live. We're
Yeah,
live.
no,
People
you're
just
live.
Can't hear it. So,
But no, well, the announcement went out with the wrong link because you created a 429, so I used that one. Hey.
it's okay. We're still technically live. Here, let me send it to you in this channel. There.
Nope, I got it now. I went and dug it up.
People are gonna be like,
Oh,
"When did you guys
goodness.
start? Like 15 minutes ago? Jesus Christ!"
And
You were the
hang
one
on.
telling me that we had 4 viewers already.
Yeah, in the room that I had the announcement in.
Okay, the wrong channel. Sorry, guys.
Womp, womp, womp.
Wah, wah, wah. Let's wait till somebody shows up before we start.
Yeah, hang on. Let
Just
me
fast
send
forward
out.
past this if you're listening after the fact.
Okay, there we go.
So, because we're using OBS and I haven't figured out everything,
I think it created a new channel when you hit go live because the one you had there, I'm sitting there looking and it's like still waiting and people are popping in and going out and in and out and I'm like, what the actual hell are you doing?
Anyway, so we kind of have a little bit of a new format here because Titan had this neat idea where he could show us talking. And because I haven't really figured out our microphones yet, you see me with my own little speech bubbles and then everybody else. So we have Faz and not Faz this week.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
All right.
So
now we've got the people moving over.
now
Thank
people
you.
are coming over.
Okay.
They're like, what's wrong with you? All right, so I'm kind of curious. You seem to really like Townstar, Mr. Lycan Wolfgang. What draws you to Townstar? Did you just like the challenges to try different builds, or what drew you to it?
So, I've always been one to answer questions to the best of my ability. So I'm going to come out and say it. I found an ad for Townstar. It mentioned Farmville. I remember playing that when I was about 10 years ago. In its prime, I remember making fake accounts to help give myself energy in Farmville, and it caught me in a dark place. I was my mother had passed away in January of last year, and I was homeless, jobless, and I just started playing it, and it gave me not only a sense of purpose, sense of drive, but there was the competitive aspect of the weekly, and there was the different builds, and I really was kind of immediately hooked because it not only reminded me of Farmville, but it was more challenging than Farmville. And then you had the cryptocurrency aspect on top of it, and I had dabbled in cryptocurrency up to that point, but I think it was just a fate. It was an ad on the Brave browser, and I clicked on it, and I've been playing ever since.
Have you heard about Gala Games' plan to rule the world, where they're talking about play to earn as actually helping people, make a living, stuff like that?
I've sort of embraced that as my own, thanks to the community giving me some sort of power as the Townstar guy. I was able to go to Galaverse that was hosted in Las Vegas at the end of last year. Got to meet a bunch of lovely people that work for Gala, that are in the Gala community, people who had said they'd watch my videos and everything. And
yep, I saw part of that.
left Galaverse knowing that my purpose right now in life is to do just that, is to help as many people as I can change their life by playing video games, something that I'm passionate about, something that I love. And, I feel like that's my mom's gift to me is now this chance to take her gift of her ability to teach, because she taught for 36 years, and use that to teach people how to play a game, and then that game be able to give them, particularly in like third world countries or lower economic status people, a couple US dollars a day or a week even. I mean, that's life changing. Mm-hmm. And it's a video game.
Even at the prices town is at right now, it can be very good for them. So Townstar is actually a fairly complicated game. I mean, if anything, I would think playing it, if you did not have a good education, would certainly teach you some things about economics.
Resource management, balancing. That's if I had to describe one word or action associated with Townstar, it's balancing, or balance, because there's just so many little minutiaes to understanding the way the AI handles things, to understanding how many of this you need. And it probably could all be boiled down to some statistical math formula, but I like to pretend it's magic and that I have a magic wand. But it is far more complex than Farmville ever was, and that's something that I appreciated, but also it has that replayability, that drive to keep going and figure out the next best way to do this and to do that. And then obviously with the competition aspect and the ability to possibly win free cryptocurrency, that it's addicting, it's addicting. Candy Crush. It's Candy Crush if Farmville meets Candy Crush on steroids plus some of cryptocurrencies,
Well, to be totally honest, when I first heard of Townstar, I was like, this is stupid. I mean, I played a lot of SimCity when I was a kid. And I played a lot of games, kind of economy-style games and stuff like that. And it's one of those games that you underestimate. You look at it, and there's all these little happy, cheesy-looking characters on it. And I'll be dead honest, I wasn't that interested in it before I'd heard about the play-to-earn aspect. However, the play-to-earn aspect brings to it a certain likability that's hard to define. I mean, it's like going to work at a job that you wouldn't normally take, that you wouldn't normally work at, and you're like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at processing credit card transactions or something like that. I mean, if you're not a gamer, you can start getting into gaming with it because you have some motivation. You have a strong motivation to get into it. And so to that end, I have some understanding on how a game like this can be made. So I see it, and I see it as challenging. I mean, it's because it's an economic kind of model. It's very interesting, and what I find more interesting is they have a lot of possibilities and what places that they can take this thing going forward. It's not just going to be static.
I think it's not a first-person shooter. It's got obviously the cuteness factor, if you want to use that, with the way the characters are animated, and like the Vox look pretty cute and all that kind of stuff. But deep down inside its bones, it's got this really complex, always possibly dynamic game that, I wouldn't say maybe endless replayability, but it kind of boils down to you. Do you embrace the challenge of it? Do you want to compete in the weekly? All that kind of stuff.
It's intelligent. It's a smart game.
It's way more than just, hey, look, click here and place that, Everything has a proximity effect, and that can all contribute to this and that. And,
There's still some things I don't know about it. I mean, it took me a while to realize what wind effects were. It took me a while to realize what... There's other types of proximity effect with oil, with water, with
you got saltiness, you got dirtiness, you got wind block, you got shade. Yeah, it's all sorts of fun stuff, man.
Exactly. Titan, we've been ignoring you.
Well, he
no,
said
that's all right. So I'm the non-gamer of the group here. I played SimCity, one of my favorite games when I was younger, back on the old PC systems, was 1601 AD, which was a builder too. Okay. And I loved that thing. One of the things I noticed talking about complexity is Faz had fun poking some fun at me last week because I just figured out that the wheat stands that I have will automatically supply the windmills.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to stop you right there. I just need you. I'm going to send you my wallet address. Just go ahead and send those over to me.
That's how you make things work. If you send to that wallet address.
Yeah. So maybe I in the videos that I watch with you, there's some sporadic stuff, but maybe for the people who are complete noob idiots like me, what are some of those like little cool things, like the windmill being powered by a wheat stand? What are some of the other ones that people might not know are available?
So they have stands, which, as you just mentioned, there's a wheat stand, there's a sugarcane stand, there's a cotton stand. Those produce passively whatever that product is in a radius around it. So the game is based off of 16 by 16 squares. So 16 squares up, 16 squares across. So the wheat stand, for instance, base model, because they all have a rarity score or a rarity type. They have rare, epic, legendary, ancient. It starts at 2 and 1. So the immediate squares around it produce 2 wheat or whatever the product is, and then the squares around that, only 1. They also have storage buildings. So, for instance, grape storage or wheat storage. So it's a silo, but it's a silo that only holds one particular item, versus the regular in-game silo can hold anything up to 20. They also have towers, fountains. Those produce passive water. We recently had some Snoop NFTs, some of which produce passive water, and others that produce passive iron, which frankly have broken the game, and they're in the process of trying to rebalance because of it. What else have we got? We got passive energy. We have some that don't even do anything except look cute. Those are called Vox, but they actually increase the amount of town coin that you can earn a day. So they have a majority of their NFTs have a in-game function, but not all of them do. Some have an in-game function and no town coin value. So, for instance, they have skins, visual skins, so you can make your characters look a certain way, and those give you a speed and production boost, but do not earn you town coin. So they have a wide variety of NFTs for purchase. I've been fortunate enough to have the only thing I've spent money on for Townstar has been to get the Express Depot, which is basically if you want to get into play to earn with Townstar and Gala Games, you buy a Gala Gold membership and you get an Express Depot.
Well, you have some Snoop NFTs, don't you?
Yes. So I mentioned Galaverse earlier. I was given a chance at Galaverse by someone that had used my videos to help them learn how to play Townstar. They said, listen, I'd like to repay you by letting you borrow some of my Vox, and you can use those town coin earnings to get yourself your own Vox. Well, like I said, I don't want to be selfish, so I turn that back into more NFTs so that when the rental system comes out, I can start helping people that maybe either get swept under the rug or don't have a voice to get heard, or someone that could really use an extra, $2-3 US a week. So I've got the Snoop billboard and turntable. Those are both passive water NFTs. But yeah, I think it's $50 right now for Gala Gold to get the Express Depot. The Express Depot is a faster, less gas using version of your Trade Depot. Trade Depot is the basic gameplay mechanism for selling your products. So I guess the whole point of Townstar is you produce some sort of product and then you sell it. And then you make more of the product and you sell it. And depending on whether you're playing competitively or you're playing for play to earn, it might just end with you making products and selling them and getting your town coin with your daily reward. Or you could be like me and play competitively, so you're trying to squeak out as much possible production of whatever product it is as possible so that you can get as high of a rank as possible and get as high of a reward as possible. Essentially, Townstar's got two modes. You got play to earn and you've got play to win. Play to win involves the weekly competition that we normally have, currently suspended until Tuesday. They're going to bring it back for May Mayhem. That's a whole nother topic. And what that entails is you play the game in this set time frame, and they have a ranking structure. If you place inside of that ranking structure, right now it's currently top 1,000, you can win Gala. So you zero investment, zero other than your time, zero investment, and you can win cryptocurrency. The other mechanism, of course, is play to earn, which involves having a placeable NFT. So like with the stands you mentioned, the Snoop NFT, something that you actually click on a square and click place is the definition for a placeable NFT. You have to have that. You have to have Gala Power Level 1 or higher, which requires at least one Gala in your inventory. You also have to do the daily quest. So for right now, it's an ascending tiered requirement. You start out only having to complete 500 stars a day. When you sell an item in the game, you get cash and you get stars. Depending on the item, it varies. And in this case, if you sell the easiest thing in the game, you're going to get like 10 stars. If you sell the most complicated thing in the game, you get 68,000 stars. So it's a pretty big scale. But you complete the daily quests, you clicked collect rewards like it's showing on my screen right now, and you get your town coin. So that's it. Play to earn, play to win. And yeah.
So, question about that. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because I noticed that when you were playing on your live stream, you'd said in a few cases, in a number of cases, that you don't need to have NFTs to really win these competitions. Or maybe you didn't say it like that, but you had said some builds work really well with NFTs and some, you don't need NFTs for. Can you actually win these competitions or place high if you have little or no NFTs?
So, if I was going to tell you anything with competitiveness, for sure skins. But to answer your question, yes, I believe you can at least place pretty high without any NFTs whatsoever. It also matters where we're at. if we're doing a new meta, so meta, for those who don't know, meta is the term of endearment that is used to describe whatever the best play style or methodology of playing is. In this case with Townstar, meta is whatever the best thing to produce and sell is. So if I mention meta in the future, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the old school term for that is mechanic. I see that they've abandoned that recently.
It's too many words to type, okay? Meta sounds cooler. Mm-hmm. So we had this problem for the longest time where we weren't switching up what the meta was. So you had the same, we called it vanilla meta. So the idea being vanilla, base model, bland, plain, right? Vanilla meta, which was wine if you didn't have any NFTs, or if you had a wheat stand and knew how to use it, you would do uniforms. So that got very boring, very stale, and they've recently made some core game changes that have sort of shifted it. So now the in-game item that sells for the most cash and stars is now the meta, which is blue steel. And that's what I'm making right now on this map that I have in front of me. You don't need any NFTs to make blue steel. You can make it without any. You don't need any. And so the item that sells for the most stars in game, and that most people are agreeing is probably the best thing to produce, now doesn't need any NFTs. Not that NFTs can't help it, but you don't need it. I would think you for sure could copy, let's say, one of my builds or someone else's blue steel build and get in the top 1,000 quite easily.
What does that get you? What does that net you a day if you got in the top 1,000?
What did they? So it's an interesting. We don't know, or maybe I just haven't seen it. I don't know what the Mayhem strategies are gonna look, or payouts gonna look like. But right now, rank 1 is $1,500 US. Rank 801 to 1,000 is $20 in Gala. So if you think of cryptocurrency as the future, right? Getting paid in cryptocurrency is a lot better than getting paid just in cash.
So, especially now when Gala is pretty low.
Yeah, so you're going to get $20 worth of Gala, which right now, according to my calculator, is about 127 of them.
That's a lot of work for very little cash. I would hope
that's where play to earn kind of comes in, right? Where you collect a daily town earnings, and that kind of, supplements it. They've recently changed this top 1,000. I placed in the top 200 last competition they had, and so that would have netted me $100 in Gala, excuse me, which would have been right now like 637. But I play competitively because I enjoy it. I don't play it for the money. Some people, that is all they care about. So I'm the oddball for sure. I'll go ahead and admit that.
Well, the reason I was asking about that is because Titan frequently would complain about, oh my God, look, people will not play this game. Generally, people will not play this game unless they're getting paid for it. I disagree. However, I do realize that getting money for the game is certainly a primary factor of people playing it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it would be unrealistic to say people wouldn't expect something for their time. But that's kind of where the Gala Gold comes in, right? Express Depot is the cheapest NFT you can get. So for $50-ish plus some gas fees, now you've got an NFT earning one town a day. And then you get hooked. Like, okay, well, I want to earn more than one town a day. So then you possibly can. Once rental comes out, I think a lot of people are going to change their minds, because now I can loan you my NFT, and if I'm a nice person, I give you the majority of the cut. If I'm here for winnings purposes, then.
You mean if you play Axie Infinity, if you're a nice guy, you'll give them most of the cut or some of the cut. I like how they want to automate that. Where you simply
that's going to be with Gala Chain, which is
simply just set it up and just let it go. And I would think that there's going to be a competition actually with that market. So say you give people one third of the money, and I'd say, well, you can have half. and somebody else would come along and say, well, you can have 3/4. I can see a market even among the rental.
Right.
However, I think this market is going to be as low as the market. I bet it's going to be as low as the market can bear, which is there's going to be a percentage. After a number of months or time goes by, they're going to say, oh, 27% seems to be the going rate of, and that's a good rate. If you're down to 14%, don't rent for that guy.
So I'm going to be the oddball, and I'm going to try and bring in as many people as I can, as many whales, as many benefactors as I can. I would like to have an umbrella under my gaming guild. So there are guilds in Townstar, and a lot of them, the majority of them, are focused on being uber competitive. Which, not to say that I'm not competitive, but I'm not here to claw tooth and nail. I'm more here to help give knowledge out to the community and to help people that need help. So, in my scenario, I'm going to have as many as I possibly can NFTs to rent, but I'm hoping to get a community, a pool of NFTs to help rent out to those that are in my guild and my server, and then anybody else after that. The idea just being that we want to bring as many people in as possible, and I'm not here to make profit off of it, but if I've got 100 NFTs and I'm taking 10% of their daily earnings, that's still pretty good.
Right.
That's enough to blow a candle out it with, I guess.
Well, I'm actually doing something like that right now. I think you mentioned that you've loaned some NFTs to people, or people have loaned something to you. I've loaned a few of my NFTs out to other people's wallets, and they're simply just making money off of it. However, the problem with that is there's a security issue. If what's nice about this upcoming market is you can loan to anybody, and if their wallet gets compromised or something, then you won't lose your NFT. So I kind of like that angle.
Yeah, I think that's necessary. Smart contracts are the future, and that's essentially what it would be. This smart contract between you and I get to dictate the length. I get to dictate how much of the earnings I take out and you get. Gala's going to have a set rate cut that they get, i.e. that's going to be their gas fee, whatever percentage it comes to. And we lock into the contract. So I think there may be an option for more parameters, like you have to earn a minimum amount in that time frame of rental. But I'm not 100% positive. I have to go look at the documentation on it. But
and that's likely
for me,
change.
I'm not going to be here for profit. I'm going to be here just to help people out. So, like I said, I might take 5%. I'm not going to take any more than 10%. Because again, it's not really. If anything, I'm using that money to reinvest back into the game. So.
Well, yeah, if you can keep building it up, and that would be awesome.
I mean, in an ideal world, I see myself with thousands and thousands of Townstar NFTs, and I'm just loaning them out to people long enough so that they can get enough for them to get their own NFT, and then they give me my NFT back, and they buy their own, and now they're earning on their own, and then they get an extra one, and then they can rent that out to someone else, and then we're just spreading out and helping as many people as possible. That's my goal. Some people are in it for money, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I'd help them equally the same as I help someone who just needs to learn how to play to make a couple extra bucks a month.
We're seeing some chat here, Mr. Titan. Would you want to? Is there anything worth bringing up here in the chat?
Yeah. So we've got Punjab and James asking questions regarding Lycan's take on the Townstar economy and the fixes that they're doing, centering around your thoughts, Lycan, on are they going in the right direction? Do you think this can be fixed?
So, first things first, I am no tokenomics guy. I'm no economics major. I'm no finance guy. You had mentioned my video with Lindoku, and I harp on it as much as possible because honestly, I don't ever suspect I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be this is how you play the game guy, because that's not only what I do best, that's what I feel comfortable giving advice on. I don't ever want to mislead someone and to the moon and the pump. That's just not me. And And I hope people can appreciate that, while yes, I want everybody to just make fat stacks playing this game, I don't want to ever go to that perspective. If you ask me how much should I invest, I said, well, I'll stop it right there. How much do you have to spend? And then we'll go from there. I'll see what NFTs are in your price range, and I'll see which one is maybe the best for you to play gameplay wise, or maybe I'll see which one of them will help you earn more, kind of thing. As far as with the economy, I can tell you, if you look at the graph, ever since they stopped the weekly competitions, Gala and Town have steadily decreased, and they have not stopped. And the weekly competition generated not only interest in the game, it generated people wanting to get more NFTs. There was a driving force behind them. Without the weekly competition, I don't see things getting better. Now, that said, they did implement recently their roadmap for us, and I had a video going over that. Essentially, they're going to be implementing a burn mechanism, which that's what I had Lindoku on to talk about, because I saw this announcement and I wasn't quite sure what the hell I was looking at. Because again, like I said, I'm not tokenomics guy.
Who's Lindoku again? Is he a dev?
No, he's just a really dedicated Gala member from the Discord community who has some finance background. So he was in the Discord and he was like, hey, I wouldn't mind hopping on a call real quick and explaining it to you. So we ended up getting on a video chat together, and that's the video you saw. It was a rather long format, but I mean, it worked out well. We went through the announcement and kind of broke down all the stuff. Essentially, they're going to be starting yesterday or day before or last week, whatever it was. They're going to start making less and less town coin a day, and there's a graph in that announcement. So it's a very steep downward graph for the first year, and then it kind of steadies out. Essentially, they're going to be going from making anywhere from 1.7 to 1.8 million, minting 1.7 to 1.8 million town coin a day, to by 2028 minting less than like a 250,000. So just by the end of this year, they're going to go down to like 700,000 a day. So they're just going to start minting as many town coin. Plus, they're going to implement the burn mechanism. So they're going to give you a reason to take your town coins and use them to buy gems. And these gems are going to be able to give you things in game, speed bonuses, proximity effect negation.
Do you see that as a cheat mechanism?
If it's used in the competition, I do not like it. If it is just used in the play to earn, I could give two shits. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I want to see the economy booming again, and if it's allowed in competition, it becomes pay to win, right? Right now, you could argue it is pay to win, but it's not. Like, you can still be competitive without buying anything. You can still pick up the game, watch some videos, learn how to play, test a couple builds on your own, and place in a decent range.
I have a question for Titan. That raises an interesting specter, because if you are awarded town coin and then you are allowed to buy things in game, what are the tax implications of that? Do you think that you're actually handed town coin and then you're actually spending it on that day, and then you would actually be taxed on that?
So all this is coming out really fast, and one of the other things I noticed by watching the Discord is conversation that the potential of being able to spend town coin or any real in-game token or gem or whatever you want to call them right directly from your treasure chest once Jiri goes live. And that is really good. We've had some challenges with trying to figure out how to do our taxes just after minting, for cripe's sake. So being on that Geary chain without minting and spending tokens for either in-game assets or anything else is going to be even worse. So I think we do need to push Gala very, very hard on getting answers, not only about, hey, how does this work after we mint from a tax perspective, but
Gala's
especially if it's going to be, well, they've got to give us some kind of guidance, because how they...
You guys pay taxes?
Yeah, right?
I don't have any.
I mean,
what are you talking about?
They really do. They have to come out with something to guide us. They don't have to tell us exactly how to do it, but they have to give us some definitions of what it means when it's in a treasure chest.
What they would say is that they're not the IRS, that the IRS would tell you.
No, they're not. Law Tank's not going to let them. But to your point real quick, Titan, when they had the AMA between Kiki and Bitbender brought that up, that you're going to be able to, you'd be purchasing the gems in bundles, which would make it a one-time taxable event instead of a multiple transaction. Like, you using the gems wouldn't be considered a taxable event. So I know he mentioned that. So I wanted to throw that in there. So they are aware of your questions, and I think 100% Gala Chain usage is going to be key, because then it never leaves the website, and therefore it's not real. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, is it's according to the way that the latest we've been able to squeak out of them, it is real when it's in your treasure chest. So that, we could, I mean, Faz and I have spent literally 50 hours arguing about that.
The upshot on, I'll just call it my interpretation, is I've talked to a lot of different people of varying professions, and I don't want to sound like an authority. I just want to sound like somebody who's investigated it, is if you are handed Gala on their chain, even if it's a private chain, and all you can ever do with it is mint it, well, then it's just changing form. It's just transferring from their wallet to yours. Just like you can have an account at an ice cream store. You can be given money in your account if you went to an ice cream shop and they gave you money in the account. They said you had $100 in here and you can spend that. A lot of people don't report that kind of stuff, but we have blockchains, and now the IRS can look all that stuff up, and things that we never reported as taxes before, technically they do fit. So say I were to give Titan $20 and he were to sell me a basketball of his own. He'd say, I have this used basketball, you could buy it in a garage sale. According to the IRS, you have to pay taxes on it. Nobody does, of course, because it's an untraceable transaction, and who cares? It's a small amount, and even the IRS wouldn't care. Once you have a blockchain and you have a record of stuff going on, now what people don't seem to understand...
It's documentation. Yeah, everything's documented.
What people don't understand is once crypto regulation comes out, it's going to be the big and the small, and they're going to have to explicitly say, we don't care under this amount. Yeah. So it's a whole new world. I wanted to get... I don't think that tax implication is something we need to worry about right away, but it's very helpful what you said about what Bitbender says, where you're buying packages of gems. So you're going to buy like a set of 100
at least
gems.
Reducing the amount of, in his mind, or what he verbalized, the amount of possibly taxable events, right?
Oh, yeah. It'd be better than me having, 2,000 town, and then it just turning into gems automatically. It's better that I need to go purchase a package of gems, and then that's taxable. And then I do that once a week, and then... Because you will have to report it. To Titan, Gala Games cannot take a position on what... they cannot guide you on how to deal with this, because they're not an authority. The only way that they would have any sort of, I call it a fiduciary duty to you, is if the IRS told them that they had one. And right now there's no guidance with that, so they're probably going to get away with doing as little as possible, which means you're on your own, buddy.
Oh, they're going to get away with doing as little. Law Tank is very good at what he does, and that is silencing things.
And that's his job. Okay, he does a good job.
Yeah. No, he does. He does a great job. For all the him and I not getting along, it's all good. I still like him.
He's a guy you love to hate, I guess. I have a good relationship with him.
I appreciate
myself.
him as what he represents, like that super like contrarian like guy. Like I dig it. It's good.
Well, there's his job and then there's his personality, and I can see the difference between the two. And I can butt heads with him all over the place. But
I'd still have a beer with him.
What's nice is that him and I can get into a mode where we can talk and say, "Look, seriously, how's this going to be? Or how's this going to go? Or tell me what you think." And when he does give you off the cuff advice, he'll say, "Just to let you know, this is not with my lawyer hat on. With my lawyer hat on, I would say no way. However, me personally, I think this." And so he's said that a few times on the Discord, and lawyers are allowed to do that. I mean, he can say things off the record, and I think when you see him on Gala a lot and people ask him his opinions, I don't think he has a lot of official opinions. He's going to say, well, if you nail me down, I'm going to say no. But boy, I'd really like to see that myself.
I just jumped in the chat, by the way. I want to see what's up, Triple L. We got Henry Biglin. Hello, my friend. What else we got? Punjab. Yeah, we talked to Punjab, by the way. Hello. Let's see. We got anybody else I want to say hello to? We got James S.
Are those your peeps?
Some of them are. I'll claim my children.
Children.
Yeah. So, yeah. James brought up beer. Yeah, I don't have a beer right now. I've got a coffee that I bought earlier that I put in the fridge. To go back to Punjab's question. Honestly, here's where we're at with Townstar. A month ago, they announced that they're going to be removing Town from Gala Power. So let's start with what Gala Power level is. Right now, to participate in Play to Earn in Townstar, you need 3 things. You need to have Gala Power level 1 or higher. You need to have a placeable NFT, like we talked about earlier. So, for instance, I can place a water tank on my town. The skins that I mentioned earlier, I cannot place those. I can apply them, but I can't place them. So a skin would not qualify. So that's number 2. And number 3, you have a daily quest. Right now, hold on. Groove, I didn't know if that was actually you. Shout out to Groove, the script master. Groove just DM'd me, so I don't get no love. Groove, you're the man. I'm sorry.
Groove,
I didn't know if that was the real Groove.
Groove just put a script on CryptoFaz regarding Star Atlas. You might want to look in the gaming channel.
I know someone's mentioned Star Atlas to me already, and I'm like, all right, listen, I'll add it to my server. Like, I don't care. My server is just as much my community's as it is mine. I just have the name on it, man. I want to be a resource where people can go and talk and exchange information. So yeah, that's our 3 things: our daily quest, our placeable NFT, and our Gala Power level 1. So Gala Power level 1, what that means is that number 1 represents the number of NFTs that you can earn with. So if you're Gala Power level 1 and you have 1,000 NFTs, you can place all 1,000 in your game. Not really, because it won't fit, but for the sake of argument, you can place all of them in your map, but you can only earn on one of them. Versus if you're Gala Power level 100 and you only have 1 NFT, then all you're going to earn on is that 1 NFT. That's what Gala Power level dictates. So for instance, I'm Gala Power level 12 right now. So that means I can place and earn on 12 NFTs. So where does that come in? Well, Gala Power level, when it was announced and Town Coin came into existence, Town Coin in the equation of how much Gala Power you have was ranked as twice what Gala was. So for the longest time, Town was double what Gala was because there was double incentive to have Town versus having Gala. Now, you could use some of that Town to purchase things on the store. Yes, a lot of people probably just used Gala or used ETH. So them removing the only functionality Town Coin had, well, that was a huge hit. Like that, I kept verbalizing as often and as loudly as I could. I said, how is that helping the economy? How is that helping Town Coin? We need Town to have a function. So now we're giving Town a function. It's to be used to get gems so that the gems can be used for things in game. Now, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm kind of indifferent. at the end of the day, the burn mechanism, I think, is certainly more important. The fact that we can sink these town coins into oblivion, thus reducing the amount in circulation, thus increasing the rarity. You know, we look at like a Bitcoin, right? What's one Bitcoin worth? 38,000, 37,000 right now. So you're dealing with fractions of a Bitcoin. You know, in an ideal world, 10, 20 years from now, we'd be dealing with a fraction of a town coin, you know, that's worth a significant amount. So that's where we're now on the road to, which we were not on that road before. Before we were just chicken with a head cut off. They were moving towns only purpose. Well, of course it's not going to have it, and there'd be no point in having it. So now we're back to not only having Gala power, but also having town power. And that's a whole nother beast.
I have a couple comments about that.
Yeah.
So Titan and I have gone round and round on the mechanics of the coins and so on. And, you know, it usually starts out with, you know, Titan saying something like, what the hell's the point of this? And me usually saying something like, okay, look, this application's in beta. They're still figuring it out. I heard one of your, I watched one of your rants where you promised not to use foul language, and then you used foul language, about a change in one of their metas, mechanics, whatever. And what I like to remind Titan about when he gets that mad is, hey, this game isn't out yet. It's still new. Is this something that you recognize? Are you realizing that you're part of their testing right now? Or are you thinking, and this is what Titan says, hopefully I get it right, Titan, hey, this is real money. You're messing with people's lives, man. You're messing with real money. How dare you? What do you think?
There's a joke in my community / my videos / my streams. Anytime someone says beta, I play a little GIF and I play my little sound effect because it's a joke that it's still a beta, as far as I'm concerned. Now, the real joke is it may never leave beta mode.
It's a very playable beta.
Yeah, this game has been out so long, it's not a beta anymore. This is what we're gonna get for now. Now, obviously, they're hopefully gonna implement more things like we've talked about, phishing mechanisms where you have an active phishing mechanism and a passive phishing mechanism, stuff like that, like something that engages a player more than just build your town and tweak it and then let it sit and run. But yes, 100% legally they cannot admit that this is an investment, and I've expressed that frustration many a time. Because while I understand they can't say it from a legal standpoint, they still they treat everyone like it's not an investment, and that's where the community feels like they aren't appreciated, or that they're undervalued, or that they don't care. Because I can understand that you can't legally tell me it's an investment, right? But at the same time, you have to at least treat me like you understand I'm spending real fiat money on a game that in your mind is still in development. You know, and it's been around. I've been playing it since it's been almost a year now, and it's a fully functioning game. You know, we play tournaments, we win, we get awarded a prize.
Well, there's the reason I hit this angle with this is there's a number of other games out there, and I've mentioned Star Citizen before, where there are games that you pay into a playable beta, and they're developing the game along their vision. But in Star Citizen, you will be paying thousands of dollars for in-game ships. They're not NFTs; they're just in-game ships,
game items, but they're not NFTs. Gotcha.
And so that is something that's valid, and something that people do is they get a game going. I mean, even the traditional games now, if you can call them traditional, they put out the game, and it's this minimum viable product. And then it's really not any fun unless you buy all the DLCs.
Right.
You know, and really what you're doing is you're paying for developers. And that's an angle I think is important to mention, that they need to keep making money off of this. And they need to keep getting money from people in order to produce what they want, because that's their only source of income.
This is their flagship game. And that's one of the reasons I got so frustrated with it. Not just because I love the game, but, you know, Townstar has been around since I got into Gala, which was last year, right around this time. And that's a year. That's a long time for it to still be in beta. You know what I mean? Like and it was in beta before I ever got to it. So it's just one of those where you want to keep the community happy. While Townstar may never be the next Farmville, because it's right now it requires too much of your time and resources, like as far as like leaving your computer on, that kind of stuff. It can still be their flagship game. You know, we're gonna show you how the play to earn ecosystem can work, right? And it just feels like they're giving it the bastard redheaded stepchild, essentially. They put it on the back burner and don't care about it. Now, I got Bitbender. For those of you who don't know, Bitbender is the face of Gala. He fielded some questions from me and mainly the community. And he's going to continue to do that. And I think that's a step in the right direction, because there's a difference between being heard and being listened to. And for the longest time, we've maybe felt heard but not listened to. So now we're actually getting a chance to have both.
So one of the things we talked a little bit about on the pre-show, and I've been very vocal about myself, is I think Gala needs to understand that when they minimize the earn portion, they can't turn around and charge $3,000 for an NFT then. One of the things I noticed, they just had their Spider Tanks AMA. And so right around the 45-minute mark, they're talking about earnings for Spider Tanks. And Bitbender all of a sudden stiffened up, and he's like, all right, look, so we need to understand that this is first about gaming. This is not a job where you're going to earn income, and it's not about making money. It's about playing a game. So that I understand it from the philosophical point. Yes, it's a game. But if you're marketing yourself as a play to earn and charging thousands of dollars for NFTs, you've got to make the earnings worth what time you're putting in and what you're spending on the NFTs. And I think that's a huge disconnect and what causes a lot of friction between the community and Gala Games.
And I get that friction, right? But I think that all comes back to Law Tank, right? I really think, like, I could probably try and find it in the Discord, but I cracked Bitbender one day, and I got him to, like, kind of, say something, right? So I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. They need to work on how do they bridge that gap between what Law Tank allows them to say and what the community really needs to hear from them, right? And that's that bridge, that gap that we have to, because again, I understand legally they may not be able to say the things we want them to say, but they also have to treat us like we're not idiots. And that's I think that's the general consensus a lot of people are feeling like, is that not only not being heard, but that they're being like insulted, essentially.
Right. I have a unique view on this interaction back and forth between Gala and the community, because I've been into Magic the Gathering for
shout out to Magic the Gathering, baby,
about 30 years now, whenever it came out in 94, 95. And, Star Citizen and a couple of other games where the community is very loud and the community helps change direction, and they each have their own different angles. Magic the Gathering has, I would suggest, probably the best, most legal angle, which is they have a very legalistic angle, which is kind of the traditional way that companies treat their fans, which is at arm's length, and we'll put out what we put out, and we might take what you say into effect. And then, of course, they legally joust with people. Star Citizen, they get up close and dirty. They get they roll up their sleeves and get their hands into it. And people have genuine beefs about Star Citizen, and Star Citizen has some genuine points with their community. And Gala is its own animal too. And it becomes obvious that each fan base nowadays, since companies are including their fan base in a lot of their decisions, each company interacts with their own fan base in a very unique way. Another project I've gotten into is the Doctor Who cards, NFT cards, and they have an interesting point of view too. But I hear this jousting between the fans and Gala, and there's realism. I mean, the realistic avenue is, look, we're not going to do what's illegal. I don't care what you think. We're not going to cross that line. And then you have the fans saying, look, you're all but saying it, so you might as well act. And they can't even act. They can't even act as if what you said is going to affect them. They will have to take it into context and go, well, you know what? Lycan Warlord makes some good points. Let's see if we can tilt what we're doing in the future to throw them a bone. I don't think what you're going to get is, oh my God, Lycan Warlord really showed us how things were going to be, or Titan really showed us how things were going to be. They're not going to change that much, because they have their own plans too, which is they're just rolling through their features. We've got to get this done, this done, this done. Oh shit, that's broken.
We have to trust that they have the plan, right? But I can tell you this: Bitbender reached out, or I DM'd him with the list, and we've had a little bit of chit chat. Dude, talk about this. I complain about how busy my schedule is. That guy is just talk about burning the candle at both ends. He is putting in a bunch of nonstop.
I give him most likely to get a heart attack this year. I think like 30-ish.
He's pushing it, man. He's got a lot of.
He needs to be careful. Slow down, dude.
But no, I mentioned to him about, but essentially through the grapevine, it had come to my attention that people had, that people at Gala had seen my Gala video. Now, if there's one thing that I'm not, it's pretentious. I may be an egotistical narcissist, but I like the attention that I get, but more importantly, I'm thankful I'm able to help people. And that's kind of where it comes in at, right? Like if me playing this video game can somehow help someone, then I'm all aboard. I'm like, let's do it. And to hear that my words can reach frankly, who I wanted to reach, right? I wanted to reach the I called them the overlords, whoever's controlling the Townstar project, right? Like, I'm never going to be 100% right. I know that. And nobody's ever 100% right. But when I get behind something and I put my stamp on it, that's usually because I'm fairly certain that I'm right, and at the very least, I can say that my voice is merely echoing the majority of the voices that I hear in the community. You know what I mean? So, if they're truly willing to listen and we can move forward, great. If things don't get better, then I will continue to speak on that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to suck up the Gala just because they let me go to Gala versus Las Vegas. And I had someone in chat and Discord the other day mention that. Well, he got sent to Gala versus. He should be thanking them on his hands and knees. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna suck their dicks. Like, I'm gonna tell them how it is, because I care. I genuinely care about this game, and I genuinely care about the people in the community. So I'm not just gonna suck up to them and tell them they're amazing and they're awesome if they're doing something that I don't agree with. I mean, it's simple as that.
It's worth mentioning that when I got involved with Gala Games, following them and buying NFTs back in September of 2020, and I started up my server in response to some of this ROI talk they've been having. Benefactor was very interested in the community aspect, the community kind of having its own say. And he even admitted people are going to say things on a community server that they would not say on the Gala server. And I really feel like they haven't lost that, but I really feel like the Gala community needs to pull together a little bit more and speak with one voice so that they will listen to us even more. I think we need to get together on this stuff and hit the same subjects, because these things are important, and they they are interested in hearing what the community says, but they literally cannot say or respond in certain ways on their own server. People, if people get pissed, I think, and then they're human. I mean, if people are really pissed off, they're not going to really respond well if you're like, fuck you, dude. You know, that what they're going to respond to is, hey, Lycan Warlord and CryptoFaz, we're seeing that people are getting really pissed because of this. What are you guys doing to fix this or to address this?
Right. So I had mentioned this several times now. I love the idea of a community council, something like that, where
exactly,
you know, if I'm to be one of the voices, fine, but it shouldn't be just me, because you know, no one person has all the right answers, like I said before. But I just happen to be one of the louder voices. Get together, let the community decide. You know, if it's leaders from all the guilds, if it's, you know, let them pick some people to be in a council and have Gala genuinely listen to the feedback that they get from that council. Because that way they have an intermediary. Gala doesn't sit here and sift through millions of messages on Discord, and we can consolidate the voices into one louder, bold, italicized, underlined, you know, statement. So, I would like to see, you know, like everybody, I want to see this thing go back on the tracks. And since we lost the competition back in January, things have just gone downhill.
Well,
we've had nothing but NFT releases and new gaming projects, and you know, it's been really hard to bite down and not be extremely critical. And I finally broke down and just made a video that I honestly would never have wanted to make, but it's the truth as far as I saw it, and I feel like it resonated with a lot of people. And I'm hoping that that's the last time we have to do that. I'm hoping going forward from here, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows, which, of course, that's unrealistic. But as long as now that we have a roadmap, now we do have a method of communication. We've got this list of things. There's going to be more lists. There's going to be more community input. Again, I brought up the council idea. I think that's great.
Do you talk about that with other people, such as the guilds? Do you talk to the guilds very much?
I haven't brought it up with the guild leaders yet. I think that's a pretty good idea. I can make
I think we should both work on that and see what we can get, because it would actually help to make Gala's job easier. Because right now they've
already got enough to do. Yeah, I agree.
They've got people bitching for 57,000 different reasons on their Discord, and I guarantee there's probably not one person coalescing all of their issues. And yeah. I see Smithers has put together the Thune list on the CFA Discord, and we're starting to keep track of certain things, certain promises they have. It would be great to be able to say, okay, because you promised this, and we've observed this from what you've done, this is a problem. Is there something that you can address here?
Right.
And, you know, maybe we can get some sort of dialogue going back and forth that would really help people out.
Do you have a lot of do you have Grizzly in yours, General Fault, Galax? Do you have them in your Discord?
They have accounts. I don't see General Fault too much. When I see him, he's on his Discord. There's Gemini, of course. He has his own Discord.
Shout out to Gemini, by the way. I keep seeing Jim. Yeah, I didn't know who the hell they were. No offense, guys. No one talks to me. By the way, shout out to James S. I appreciate you, James. As far as Voice of the People is concerned, I feel like I hear a lot. I see a lot. I read my comments, right? I try to respond to all my comments. I got the live stream. I see a significant number of people's inputs on the situation. And the problem with the Gala Discord is they heavily regulate sometimes some of the things that are said, right?
And they have to. It makes them look bad if they were to entertain certain conversations.
Straight up, it looks like
bad
China.
In a legal way. It's almost like going to an airport and saying, having a very loud conversation. So I'm worried about bombs in the airport here. I'm worried about what this could mean. Yeah, people are going to come to you and tell you to shut the fuck up and then get the fuck out. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah. Oh, funny story. My son and I were at the local airport, and they were building a new airport right next door, right? And so we asked somebody like, hey, what are they going to do with this one? Like, are they going to make this an annex or what? And they go, no, they're going to destroy it. So we're sitting there waiting to catch the flight, and he starts looking around, and he's like observing the surroundings and like looking at the structural integrity of the building. And he's 10, right? So, and he goes, I wonder how much TNT it would take to blow this place up. And I'm just like, bro, you can't say that in the airport, man. You're gonna get arrested.
At least he's not feeling the walls, like testing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was like, dude, if you started like measuring and started writing notes down and stuff, I'm like, all right, we got to get in here.
But it puts them in a bad position, because I think that really on one level, yes, they want to know that stuff and they're happy to talk to you about it, but everybody's watching. The SEC is watching their Discord, and when people say something like, hey, you guys need to do better for the price of town, they're going to say, look, dude, we don't try to mess with the price of town. But what they do, I like to say, look at what people say and watch what they do. What they do is more important than what they say. What they're doing is that they are implementing a burn mechanism. They might not say it. That's what they're doing. Okay.
Well, finally, yeah. No, they had to come out and do it. What it was is they didn't want to do it. They always said,
to be
we're
dead
never
honest,
going to do it.
My sources told me they've been looking for burn mechanisms for months and months and months, for at least 6 months. So the problem is it takes a while to get that stuff moving, and that's what people don't realize. I've had conversations with people 6 and 8 months ago about the burn mechanism, and yet they're planning to do it. Now, I couldn't say, well, this is what they're planning to do, because they might change their mind. They haven't done it yet. But now that they're doing it, it's like, yeah, they were talking about it. The same thing, the same issues that we're having right now, they do know about and they are talking about, and they're probably not going to get solved for 6 months because maybe, I don't know, Gala Music came along, Spider Tanks came along, and,
That's the problem, right? The problem is Townstar was a working, functioning ecosystem, and then it died. And then all we saw was other projects, more NFTs, the game's still not working. That's where I think a lot of the frustration came in, right?
Right.
It would be one thing if Townstar was working swimmingly and everything was working the way it's supposed to, and we were getting meta changes and weekly. It wasn't. So you had it felt like they literally, it was the ledger of truth, and that's fine. That's fine if that's what it was, but you waited 3 months to tell us about the ledger of truth. And the economy and the ecosystem suffered for it.
Yeah, it's their priorities. Really, it's their priorities. That's the problem.
So that was my biggest issue / concern, was that if you had been communicating with us the whole time, it wouldn't have been near the outcry that it was. People will still be upset, rightly so. The price is not what it used to be. Fine. But at least we would have known that it was you guys were working on something, and not just that you didn't care, because it just visually looked like you guys didn't care. And that's where my frustration came back, because they brought the weekly tournament back, and it was atrocious. It was absolutely abhorrent, and I made a video on that, and I was not happy.
Well, something
I
else
care
to
so
mention,
much about it, and that's the shit that we got.
Something else to mention, and this is important. I've been a software developer for over 20 years, and I've worked on multiple projects, and I had to support multiple projects with multiple customers. And something that should be important to mention is when they started, when I found out about them in September 2020, they had 20 people working there. And they've had to scale, since then, they've had to scale up to over 200 right now. There's a lot of people there. That is a lot of work. And the hardest part about it is continuity, keeping the story straight. I mean, they're project managers. Their whole job is just to keep the story straight. And that's the part that you don't see. All that you see is the mouthpiece, which is Bitbender and the mods saying, yeah, we're working on that.
Right.
My main criticism with them has been, look, guys, just communicate. Better messaging.
Yes, 100%.
Just tell us you're working on it. We have other things going on. But of course, they're doing what other big companies do, because they're a big company now. They're kind of leaving things mysterious because they want you to think that they're doing 50,000 things simultaneously and that they can handle everything. What they really need to do is, if they do have all these separate projects, they need to have a separate Townstar Discord with their separate Townstar team, and you only talk to the Townstar team. You're not talking to Gala. You're talking to the Townstar team. You're talking to the Echoes of Empire team, and so on. Now, for what it's worth, I was talking with people at Gala 9 months ago on that idea, and they were like, yes, we are totally planning to do that. We see that ourselves. Our Discord's getting too big.
I shot it down when it came out. That idea came out because I didn't quite understand it. I was like, that's stupid.
But the point is, so they've used this time to hash through that idea. So that's what happens is these ideas, you can have very good ideas, but then they hash them through or they go to start doing it and they go, oh, wait a minute. We can't do that. And for whatever reason, it's not going to fit with this part of what we're doing. And it's hard to get major things like features out the door. When I've worked on, when I worked as a dev putting out new features, it's like, okay, we're going to make it so you can click this button now. Okay, can we handle the extra traffic from that? Because that's going to load up this new page, put these records in the database, and do these service calls and so on. Are we prepared to do that? So that when they're rolling stuff out, that still happens. But all I'm going to say is it's been 2 long years for them of ramp up, and I bet you every single person in that company is burned out. They're burned out. Their eye sockets are completely hollowed out right now.
And I don't doubt that. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the communication. If there's one thing that I truly learned post my last breakup was that communication's important, man. The ability to not only speak, which I do fairly well, the ability to listen and actually hear who's talking to you and understand what they're saying.
They're afraid, in my opinion. If we're going to call this a relationship, they're afraid, and they don't know if they can trust us, if they communicate with us, and how honest that they can be. And so what you get instead is they over-communicate, and Benefactor tells you exactly what's on his mind. I think you guys are full of shit.
Does.
And then it's like, okay, that's TMI, dude. We don't care. Just, can you just tell us how you're going to get from there to here? And a lot of times he's just reacting to the words people are saying.
Yes, he's very reactionary. And
that's the wrong kind
I
of
appreciate that. I've had someone message me. Well, let me caveat these 2 points, and then we'll get to Henry's question. I've had people, when I made my current State of Gala video, I had people DM me, and because I asked people to comment below what they thought, right? And they messaged me privately, says, I don't feel comfortable publicly coming out and saying this. You can use what I have to say, but please let me know. Please make sure that I'm not in it, right? And I'm like, that's a red flag, right? That you shouldn't be afraid of repercussions from Gala themselves by speaking your mind, as long as you aren't personally attacking them, right? If you're just stating what you see and feel, you shouldn't be afraid for your life in the Gala Discord, right? That makes me nervous. That's still how some of the most important people feel.
And I totally see it. When you're on that Discord, unless you're saying nice things about them or neutral things, they're not going to be happy with you. That's another good reason to have this council of people who can raise real issues, and we can say, look, people are pissed off. They've said everything under the sun, but listen to what we're saying here. They need to be able to trust some people that they're listening to and be able to give some real responses to, rather than what they're doing right now, which is just popping off to anybody.
Yeah, and like you talked about with burning out, right? That's certainly the possibility, right? People are just getting so tired of people talking shit to them nonstop, and that's what ends up happening. But that's the bigger they get, the more that's going to be a problem as well. I would say this: we need to come to some kind of agreement. Like, if they can stick to properly, FUD and not people like just expressing themselves, I think that would be better. I don't think people should be afraid to speak freely in Gala's Discord. I think that's a problem and needs to be addressed. And if you can eliminate that, You know, like I'm all about them going to your Discord, going to my Discord, somewhere else where they can speak freely with how they want to do, but they shouldn't have to. They should be able to come into the Gala Discord and be able to speak their mind. As long as they're being polite and they're not attacking anybody, they shouldn't fear and shouldn't encourage silencing, because that doesn't help anybody. Because then the person that spoke,
Vera Awesome has
feel
been
like
coming to
matter.
our Discord and answering certain questions. And a lot of times we'll see arguments spill over from the Gala Discord. People get banned, and then they'll come on CryptoFaz and they'll be like, "What the fuck, man?" And then you'll start seeing Jesse and Coods go at it or something. And Vera comes on, and she's been fairly even in
Even
helpful.
keeled. Vera was hot with me for a while. I think she and I have cooled off, but she was not happy with me. And I made a video about this with the current state of Gala. Someone felt like I was bullying them, and that bothers me, because I don't feel like that's how I act in the Discord. I may make funny jokes and post GIFs, but I don't ever seek to attack anyone. So that person, I still mentioned it. If they haven't reached out to me, and they don't need to reach out to me, but if they would like to, I'd be willing to talk to them. I want to apologize. I don't think I, had ever attacked someone other than maybe Law Tank. I've come for his throat. But real quick, Henry mentioned the Ledger of Truth. Essentially, Henry, what that Ledger of Truth is, from what Ben Bitter told me, is it's the backbone now that monitors. It's like that. We always called it their watchdog. So the one that's monitoring people that are cheating and just editing the code and putting in points and trying to game the system. But more than that, I think it's going to be a way to validate transactions. Also, going to help Gala Chain regulate when people are doing things. So once Gala Chain's live, it's going to help with rental, all that kind of stuff. So it is just going to be sort of this background nanny goat that's going to make sure everybody's abiding by the rules to not only keep the game fair, but hopefully have less back-end work or less post work they have to do. For instance, with the competitions, up until now, it would take a while for them to go through the results and make sure that everyone that was cheating got removed, shift the rankings over, and then hand out all the rewards. So what we're hoping is that this will help streamline the process a whole lot more. So that doesn't take 3 months to get your reward from the competition. You should get it within the next week, right? As far as where Benefactor is, he popped on one day that I was in the Gala Gold, said something, and then never replied back. So there's no telling what he's doing. Probably partying with Snoop, I guess. I don't know. Not too sure. Groove says it's a game log that gets sent back to Gala Games server. The server has some logic to determine invalid actions and triggers a rollback of the town if detected. Oh, so that's why we had a bunch of rollbacks. Ah, interesting. Yeah, because that was part of the competition, right? The competition comes out, and people were spending hours, myself included, building their town forward, and then there would be a rollback. It wasn't tracking stars right, and then the game would force a reset, and I would lose the buildings that I had built, the cash that I had spent to build that building, the resources that I had spent to build that building. So it was a shit show for sure.
All right.
Anybody else got some questions? Well, we got. Punjab said, "Why don't you guys mod? Make your voice." Listen, they don't want me with the mod powers. Let's be honest, because I would get ban happy. I would just start banning people. That's a joke, by the way, everyone. I know you can't see me. I'm joking. What else? What else we got to talk about? We got to talk about what's meta right now. Blue Steel.
I was. I think we might want to end it soon. Didn't you say you need to be somewhere pretty soon?
That's fine.
So, in my last questions were really just about NFTs in general, and I'll just throw both these questions out, and you can answer how you want. One, does anything worry you about NFTs in games, period? And two, do you think that gaming NFTs are sustainable? Do you think in 5 years we'll still be doing what we're doing now, or will things be changing?
As far as NFTs in games, I mean, the idea, right, is that we're taking, things we were already doing, right? Buying a skin pack or buying this gun or what, But now they're actually your assets, right? So that's a cool concept, being able to actually own a part of the game that you're playing. But yeah, I guess there's always going to be pay to win, right? I would say this: we need to make it so that there's a non-NFT competition and an NFT competition. Because at the end of the day, we want to bring as many people into the ecosystem as possible. And right now, you can, you still have to learn how to play the game, right? But you can, if you've got enough cash monies, you can get you some badass NFT and, have a great advantage over others. As far as the future, as long as these games are playable, people are playing them, I don't see the NFTs going anywhere. Now, as far as what I'm most looking forward to, it's the rental system for sure. Because from my perspective, I'm trying to help change the world with video games, right? I'm trying to give everyone a chance to participate and play to earn. So the more NFTs I can loan out, the better. And
I see that concept going past games, actually. I can see that concept going to micro tasks that you need to do, maybe to get some work done. Maybe somebody needs a website built, and you can get paid in a very explicit way like that. If you make a page with some words on it, with these words on it, then you get paid this. Okay, if you make a page with these words and some sound, then you get this. If you add something to it, you get this. And of course, you have the finish line. There's actually a way to scale that out to where you can have multiple people working on a project and get projects done this way. It's a really radical idea, but it's the same thing as Mirandus or a multiplayer Town Star. You can use that same concept and get real work done with it, as long as it's work that can be done on the computer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, like you said before, we're at the cusp. We're at the beginning of this revolution of an idea, right? And not all ideas are good ideas, and not all ideas succeed, right? We don't know where we're going to be 5 years from now, but I had someone in a Discord say they feel like Gala's going to be the Facebook or Twitter of the gaming world, the crypto gaming world. They're going to be the most successful, and they're going to be the one everybody knows the most, but they may not do things everybody likes. And I'm like, well, that's fair. What's a Facebook share going for nowadays, or a Twitter share? Let's ask Elon. How much is a Twitter share, Elon? Oh yeah, 47 billion.
Facebook.
Okay, cool.
See, back in the day before Facebook, it was the last thing that I ever thought when I was 25 years old, and I'm double that now. The last thing I thought when I was 25 years old was that a silly online forum would have news on it on a daily basis.
It is an actual news source for people, and that's one of the things with Twitter, right? Is it was used as a manipulation tool, just as Facebook was, and that's scary when you think about it, right?
Back in the internet, it was news groups and IRC chat, internet relay chat, and there's other chat things out there. If you remember, ICQ. That might be a bit before your time, but
I've seen it.
But they had these other things, and Facebook and Twitter, they've become major powerhouses, and it never occurred to anybody back then. And this is what I don't think people are getting, this whole gamification idea. You can gamify anything. There's going to be real games. There was this thing I saw years ago where you can go on this website and help them identify galaxies from the Hubble Space Telescope, because their computers, their AIs were having such a hard time with it. And so they send you to this site, and then you go identify galaxies. And then, they combine it with other people's observations and come up with, these are most likely galaxies and not stars. And they would teach you how to identify galaxies before you did it. Well, great. That'd be awesome to pay people crypto to do. Okay, do something that only humans can do, and we need a lot of it done. You could employ half the Southeast Asia doing that kind of stuff.
Right. No, I think we're onto something here, man. Just a matter of the growing pains that coming along with it, like you talked about, and hopefully not everybody's going to be happy, and not everybody's going to get what they want, but certainly more majority of people. Real quick, Mr. Roboto said, we're allowed to use my script Groove, or do we have to do the in-game auto sell? So I used my non-safe version. So my guild script, shout out to Crypto Dude, by the way. Crypto Dude has been busting his butt making my script. My script, I have a safe version and a non-safe version. The safe version just does auto sell and production rate. The non-safe version has an enabling all my scripts for me function, as well as autocomplete constructions, which none of those are against terms of service, but I couldn't get them to exclusively say, yes, you can use that. They just said it's not against terms of service. So I have those two different versions. I used the non-safe autosell version of my script during the last competition, and I got paid in Gala. So I think that means that it's okay, but I'm still going to market it as the not safe version. So if people choose to use it, they're covered. So as far as their script, until it's as good as mine, I'm not using it. I can tell you that much. They need to be able to hotkey it. Like right now, I can press the D key and pull up my script, press the D key again, it goes away. Not being able to, the only issue with Groove's script has been that you have to refresh the page. And the only issue with that is that people have been possibly red flagged by the watchdog because there is a refresh cheat. And so they think maybe that they're using that, but in reality, they're just refreshing because they did the script. Once you change Groove scripts, you have to refresh the page so that the new script is loaded in. So that's, it is nice that they finally added that into the game, but there's issues with the game. Like the GUI needs to be tweaked and improved. I should be able to get to the autosell script like from the main page. I shouldn't have to go into settings, go into autosell, click customize. It's too clunky, which hopefully they'll change. As far as Elon saying he's going to buy McDonald's and fix all the ice cream machines, I will say that he did tweet that he's going to buy Coca-Cola and put the cocaine back in, so that's good.
He actually responded to the ice cream machine thing, saying that he's not a miracle worker.
Did he?
He says
some things just can't be fixed, man.
Even he can't fix, yes.
Mm-hmm. I could put satellites in space and send a man to Mars, but I ain't going to be able to fix that McDonald's thing.
Well, you know about the ice cream machines. There's a documentary on that.
Is there really?
Oh, yeah, that's intentional.
No kidding.
Go on YouTube. There's a documentary on the ice cream machines. The skinny on that is the company that runs the ice cream machines. They know that they break, and they basically made the ice cream machines shut down, at the drop of a hat, so that they have to send people out to fix it. And who's really getting screwed is the individual franchises, because they're paying through the nose to get these machines fixed. So a lot of times, rather than even fuck with it, they'll just tell you the machines aren't working right now, because they don't, especially if it's the end of the day. I mean, you can get an ice cream in the morning, but after the afternoon at a certain point, it's going to be too much work for them. So they're just going to tell you, no, it's broken, it's off.
Damn.
And they go into all the details about, these machines are contracted in such and such a way, you can't get out of it. It's heinous. Maybe I'll put a link.
Yeah, do it
in here.
Mr. Roboto, where can you get my script? So right now, don't hold me to this, but I need to get with Crypto and the other devs in my server. But when I first released the script, the plan was initially the script is available to those on my Patreon and to those who are in my guild. I have a server, and then I have a guild within that server. I promised when competitions come back that I would make my script available to everybody that's in my server. So if you can join my server at the very least, Mr. Roboto, you can get access. If the script is ready, if it's ready, and the devs feel comfortable allowing anybody in the server to have access to it, then I will grant access to it. I'm not charging anything for it. If anything, Crypto Dude's going to put like a donation link for him, because he did most of the work to support him for his time. But I want everybody to play this game and enjoy it. And I feel like my script, and I think Time Machine is a really good one. He's got a real nice GUI on his. I want people to enjoy their time and not have to worry about, are they going to break the rules or not? And that's kind of why I wanted to make sure our script follows the rules. But it's modeled after Havens, so shout out to General Fault and well, General Fault and Groove, man. They were paving the way for scripts, and they've done an amazing job. Yeah, the ice cream story, that's fascinating. Golly. I'm not a big ice cream guy anyway. I'll eat it, but I don't go out of my way.
It's about money.
It's always just been like a meme, Now I know the dirty truth. Huh?
So, Titan, you still here?
I fell asleep.
What?
Okay, that's what we thought.
As far as Punjab saying buy a fuzzle, don't get me started on fuzzles. Do you want to go there? Do you want to go to Fuzzle Land?
No. I'd like to wrap this up pretty quick.
Golly.
Well, you should have listened to our last week's show. I was going off on fuzzles. Let's just say.
I made 2 videos on them, and that's all I got to say about that. I wanted to at least address they exist, but yeah.
Any last words, Mr. Titan?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you being on, coming on our show, Lycan Warlord.
Absolutely.
I'd hope that you'd like to come back at some point to talk about
Anytime.
more things, Gala. It sounds like we've only touched the tip of the iceberg.
There's so much to talk about. So yeah, absolutely. And anytime, man, anytime. And for those of you that don't know, I have a YouTube called Lycan Warlord, but with no underscore in between it. I also have my Discord link. I think I still have it I'll post it in chat again. Let me get it for you guys real quick. That's my server, my Discord server. Please come join. We have a great community there. It's about being a safe place to speak your mind first and foremost, but also more importantly, it's about helping people if you have any questions. My personal Discord is I'm going to post that as well if you guys want to add me. My DMs are always open, guys. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. It might take me a second to message you back, but I promise I get to them all. I want everybody to to enjoy themselves and be happy. Optimistic outset, but we're gonna get there.
Do you still keep that? You still have a worksheet that you put together with town earnings, or is that going to all go away?
I still have it. I know a lot of people they're not sharing it in the Discord anymore. They're using NFTlookup.io, and that's fine. My whole thing was when they first released those town earnings, they had that graph that we don't speak of that they released that screwed some people over because they thought that the NFTs that they were buying were going to be worth more town. And so that's where my spreadsheet came from, was I wanted to only post things on here that I had seen verified with my own eyes. So that way, at least I could bear the responsibility of the information, because, people were buying NFTs that had a quarter to a tenth of the value that they thought they were going to have. So that's where that came from. NFTlookup.io, I believe they pull it from the data. So if nothing else, I'll find a way to pull it from the data as well and update my spreadsheet. But it's still up. I also have a spreadsheet with the Town Star rewards table that is pulling the live data for what the coin is worth and calculating what the Gala is for it. Let's see. Let's do a little link drop here. Like James said, just the tip. We're just the tip of the iceberg. Cool story. My spreadsheet is the official spreadsheet that they use. I made a spreadsheet a long time ago with what the in-game values were in points and stars, and they're still using it to this day. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I did the right thing, right? That's this link right here. It's also in their blog post and everything. But that's the official, the current craft price points. What else I got for you guys? What's that?
Did you post something? I didn't see it.
I'm just posting in the chat, on YouTube. What else we got? I've got all items. Yeah, so this is my NFT list. I'm going to start putting what the values are, the passive ability on these. I just have to go through and make sure I get it right. Yeah. Miranda skins in their pack number. That's another good one to have if you guys want that. Groove. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Groove just DM me about the getting the data. Do they want me to have access to it? I don't know. I mean, well, that's another chat for the day. But I can show you guys this. This is this will be the last thing I share. This is pulled from the game code, and it's a little outdated. I think I'm gonna have to update it again. But it has all the NFTs that are in the game, and it shows kind of what they do. So, for instance, if we clicked on there's one called a Warp, which is the Curry shoe, right? Flow, the lab. So it has like what they are. It shows their proximity effects, the storage type, all that kind of stuff. So that's another resource right there. Got a bunch of link drops. But yeah, again, Discord, best place to get a hold of me. Like the problem with YouTube comments is I don't always get notifications when people comment. So it's just one of those things where I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring them. I just don't get to see it. So.
All right. Well, great. Thank you very much for coming on, and I think we're gonna wrap this up now.
Awesome.
All right.
Take care, guys.
See ya.